We start at Tynecastle, where Championship leaders Hearts faced Premiership leaders Celtic. Something had to give. Liam McLeod was the commentator at a match where everyone had an opinion, including club legends.
Score today, John.
Yeah, it's going to be a very tight game, but having been the only Hearts player to score the winner last time at Tynecastle, I'm taking Hearts 2-1. And it'll keep this man very, very quiet.
We'll see. Good luck today.
Cheers.
Come on, lads, let's go ahead, come on!
Almost a year to the day since a vibrant Celtic swept Hearts aside in a display Neil Lennon described as utopian. The teams go head-to-head in the fourth round of the Scottish Cup again. That 7-0 trouncing came against a team beset by administration and in a fight for their future. Despite being in the division below this time around, Hearts are feeling a lot better about themselves these days. Well, Hearts are without the injured Kevin McHattie and Soufiane El Hassanoui, so Adam Eckersley and James Keatings deputise. The tie comes too soon for Danny Wilson and Osman Sow, while Prince Boivin remains on the bench. Charlie Mulgrew is missing for Celtic after picking up a rib injury on European duty on Thursday. Nir Beaton is chosen to replace him, with John Guidetti available again. He replaces the benched Lee Griffiths. Once more, that's where you'll also find Chris Commons, a hat-trick hero in that 7-0 win 12 months ago. Well, John Guidetti has scored 10 goals in 11 appearances for the club. You can see just why they are keen to keep him on a long-term basis, currently on loan from Manchester City. James Keatings preferred to El Hassanoui today, and it's a big afternoon for him. He was off the bench against Rangers last week. Robbie Neilson is a Scottish Cup winner, having done so as a Hearts player in 2006. Ronny Deila won the Cup in his homeland, guiding Strømsgodset to the Norwegian version in 2010. The 35-year-old Willie Collins, the referee, he was in charge of the 2013 Scottish Cup final, won by Celtic against Hibernian. Hearts in maroon will get us underway, and they will attack the school end of Tynecastle in the first half against the green and white hoops of Celtic. The 8-time winners against the club who have won it more than anyone else. Celtic having won this competition on 36 occasions. Hearts 9 points clear at the top of the championship, having beaten Rangers here last Saturday. Indeed, they have yet to lose at Tynecastle this season. He has his eyes on the treble this season. Ronny Deila still in the League Cup semi-final against Rangers to look forward to. Top of the league now. Ali Mizturk. And now Callum Patterson. He didn't really know where the ball was. Keatings does now! And he forces a save from former Jambo Craig Gordon. Well, it's good build-up play from Hearts and very promising from their point of view in the opening exchanges here. The ball popped out for Keatings. Patterson did well there. He's put himself in trouble. This is Morgado Gomes getting it from Miguel Pallardo. He's having a great season. Morgado Gomes won the Scottish Cup with Dundee United 4.5 years ago now. That's good work by Brown, and Gomes slams into the challenge there. The referee's going to his pocket. Morgado Gomes is in trouble for this challenge on Brown. Well, Willie Collum trying to calm things down just now, but he is going to take action here against Gomes. It's red! Oh, that's a huge blow for Hearts, but Morgado Gomes did seem to steamroller Brown here. But there's not too many complaints from Gomes. He's cleaned Brown out here, and Willie Collum sees that as a straight red. It's a massive call. It's for Matthews. Running Eckersley here. Flip that time from Johansson. He's arguably been Celtic's best player of the season thus far, despite the goal-scoring exploits of Guidetti. Johansson, a little bit procession-like at the moment. Celtic well on top. It's Beaton's deflected, and Neil Alexander was completely rooted there. And nervy look over his left shoulder at this. Beaton's effort. Back off Öztürk. James Johansson. Here's Van Dijk. And Stokes. And Van Dijk! It's been coming! Well, it was always going to be a tall order for Hearts to be able to withstand the kind of pressure over 90 minutes. As it turns out, they lasted 20 before Van Dijk nudges the favourites in front. Stokes found the Dutchman. And he lashed home his 4th of the season. In a late winner against Aberdeen a few weeks ago. And he's put Celtic in the driving seat in the capital. The Scotland manager Gordon Strachan enjoying his cup weekend. He took in Dundee's win over Aberdeen yesterday and Spartan's shocking Morton later in the day before coming to see his old team at Tynecastle. He led Celtic to the Scottish Cup in 2007. Less than 10 minutes of the first half left. Here comes Forrest. And a horrible deflection there leads to another Celtic corner. Celtic's 7th corner of the afternoon is on its way. Usual suspects in the middle. Stokes goes near post, is Forrest! Oh, and Van Dijk misses a sitter! And he knows it. What a fizzer from Stokes. Came through the legs of Jason Holt, and Virgil van Dijk should be making it 2-0 with this. Forrest. Hansen leaving it for Guidetti. Now the Norwegian has it. Now Guidetti has it. Was he brought down? The Celtic fans think so, and Willie Collum agrees. Might have consulted with the assistant referee as well. On the far side is Graham Chambers, and now it's kicking off. Hearts feel aggrieved. Brad Mackay in particular. Willie Collum wants to take further action on Brad Mackay here. Stefan Johansson is the Celtic player who was involved in that scuffle. He was a big part of the build-up to this. The situation the Hearts find themselves in. It was played into Guidetti. The challenge came from Mackay. There's not much in that at all, you have to say. Brad Mackay went in with the challenge. There's no contact there. And it's not even close to being a penalty. Well, John Guidetti, who won the penalty, gets his 11th of the season, and surely has sent Celtic into the 5th round of the Scottish Cup in controversial fashion, you have to say. Well, it's a goal that shouldn't have come about. It's a wonderful, emphatic spot kick from Guidetti, you have to say. But the fact is, it should not have stood as a spot kick. John Guidetti, Mackay's challenge was there, then Guidetti went down, and it's a bit of a shocker. Here's Johansson for Celtic. Brown. Stokes. There's the third. It's a turkey shoot at Tynecastle. 2 in just over a minute for Celtic. And they are romping home in the capital. Well, the second was dodgy. It shouldn't have been a penalty, but this one was a fine finish from Stokes. Given to him by Brown. And he just put that into the far post where Alexander could not grasp onto it. Easy as you like. And the Scottish champions are well on their way. Guidetti. Tonev. Celtic want more. Another corner kick. Not much Robbie Nielsen can do now. is second, Celtic's fourth. And that is simplicity itself. It's a Van Dijk special. Bullets the header home. And just beyond the hour mark, Celtic lead 4-0. And that's the signal for many of the Maroon Dragoon to head for the exits at Tynecastle. Easy street for Celtic. That's a brilliant touch from Guidetti. Now that's what his game should be about. It's Tonev. Oh, popped back out to Commons. Well, that goal's been disallowed by Willie Collum. He's disallowed it just when Celtic thought they had their fifth. What a wonderful touch it was from John Guidetti. Tonev had the shot initially. Commons nicked it away from Neil Alexander. Willie Collum electing to give that one to Hearts. Now Buchanan. He's got King to his right. He'll take this on himself here. Does so. Best chance of the game so far for Hearts. And it comes with just over 10 minutes left. And it's the youngster Buchanan. It's really strong play up against Effie Ambrose there from Buchanan. Here's Scott Brown. Almost in for a fifth. It's been a Sunday stroll down Gorgie Road for Celtic this afternoon. Ronnie Dylat believes his team can win the treble, and they've taken another little step towards that. 2 from Virgil van Dijk. He bookended goals from a John Guidetti penalty and 1 from Anthony Stokes. But the biggest talking point was the early sending off of Mercado Gomez. Guidetti's penalty probably shouldn't have stood. Didn't look like a spot kick. There was minimal contact with him and Mackay, but Guidetti stroked it home, and Celtic have cruised through to the 5th round draw. The Celtic players take the acclaim from their supporters. Scott Brown will be hoping to lift all 3 domestic trophies this season. And all is said and done, Celtic very much on course for that, and also with their European progression as well. They will be pretty satisfied, despite the defeat in midweek, that they have made their way through what on paper was a difficult tie. It's the passion from Dyla again. The finishes here at Tynecastle. 10-man Harden Midlothian 0. Celtic 4.
Of course, when you get one man up, it's easier, of course, but also it's hard to break them down also. So I think we had a good game today. Good discipline in the team. We were very good to win the ball back when we lose it, and we kept them under pressure. And in the end, we scored the 4 goals and win comfortably.
I thought my players worked really hard. I thought we've worked hard all season, and I don't want one person's performance to overshadow the hard work we've done here. I don't want to get drawn on decisions that I think everyone knows the outcome of them, because we're better than that. We are a club. We're trying to be dignified in what we do, and we'll continue to do that. And I'm not going to stand and criticise people and say this and say that, because our players worked hard. We worked really hard, and we'll continue to do that. And we'll use this as motivation for the rest of the season, to make sure that it doesn't happen to us again.
I think still we are playing on the first movement too much, and we need more penetration runs to open spaces for each other. So these relationships we want in the team is of course good the time to work at. So, but in the end it's about winning, and of course I'm happy that we had a good game and win, of course.
Everyone's watching the TV. There's only one person who thought it was a penalty, and it totally changed the game for us. And it happens. I don't want to, you can say things and you get yourself into trouble, but I'd like to think the referee's got a wee bit about me, maybe gives me a wee phone and explains it to me, because I'm sure he'll watch it, and I'm sure he'll realise that, what the decision should have been.
Celtic through to the next round. Congratulations to them. I think it was a match we were all looking forward to. And Pat, whatever the merits of the Morgado Gomez sending off, it did ruin the game slightly.
It was the story of the game. We will get on to it in a short time. But everyone was excited about this game. The stadium was packed. It was a great noise in there. We wanted to see how good Hearts were. They've had a brilliant start to the season, and it was going to be a fantastic game. And we would have learnt a huge amount. We learned nothing really about how far Hearts can go or how good they are just now against the likes of Celtic. But from Celtic's point of view, if you get that handed to you, you've got to make best use of it. And as Ronnie Dyler said, did that, got the 4 goals, and should have been 5 at least.
The referee Willie Collum has come in for a lot of criticism after the game, Michael. Let's get into the incidents. You've seen a few red cards at Tynecastle in your time.
Unfairly, I might add.
What did you make of the Morgado Gomez red card?
I think what you're seeing here is that he's got the ball and there's a couple of wee challenges, niggles there that could have been a foul. You can see him having a word with Willie Collum. He's maybe not best pleased with it, and then something breaks very quickly and he wants to go in and win it and, you know, put a marker down there. I like those tackles, I've got to say, but in the modern day football you just can't get away with something like that. You're off the ground. But for me, I like that. I think that that's the sort of thing that gets a crowd going. Unfortunately, you just can't get away with it, and you know, especially when you've got a guy like Willie Collum as a referee, he's never going to give you any leeway, and it's a red card. But you're not really criticising the referee because he's doing it by the letter of the law. Not on that, yeah. On that incident, I think that you know, Hearts supporters, Robbie Nielsen will be looking at it as well, and I think he'll realise that in the modern day football, you just can't get away with a challenge like that, unfortunately. Pat, would you go along with that?
Well, I was usually on the receiving end of that sort of challenge, so I'm not going to back up in any way. Feet off the ground, absolute stick on, you can't do that, happens all the time. But if you're a player, from Scott Brown's point of view, I don't think you could see it coming because it was coming from slightly behind him, and that's when bad injuries can happen. So, hey, I'm not against good, strong tackles and the rest of it, but it was well over the top. Does Gomez, should he show more responsibility in that situation? You say you can understand it, the red mist descended, but he's let down his teammates at the end of the day.
Listen, he's a competitive midfielder, and I think what he sees is the chance that he can go in and win the ball and put in a hard tackle. I don't think it's a case of red mist. Yeah, he's maybe been noised up with a couple of little niggles there beforehand, but I think he's really just wanting to put a hard tackle in. He's coming in from the side. You know, there was a lot of challenges last week against Rangers. The difference was that the Hearts players were in control of the ball. That ball's a yard in front of Brownie there as Gomez comes into him. He just can't get away with it in the modern game, unfortunately. I like it, but you can't do it.
Let's get to another hugely contentious issue this afternoon, and that was the penalty awarded to Celtic when John Guidetti went down in the box. Michael, your view?
It's not a penalty. I mean, it's quite simple. I think Willie Collum takes his time there. You know, the right thing to do. Don't dive in as a referee and make your mind up. Give yourself a bit of time. Cannot believe, after he gives himself a bit of time, that he comes up with that decision.
It's a bad mistake by the referees.
Right, no, there's no controversy over that. The referee got it wrong. The controversy is, did Guidetti drive?
100%.
And we disagree 100% with this. I think he falls. But
well, he falls, yeah. He throws himself down. I mean, there is no doubt in my mind that he dives there.
I don't think he was looking for it. We don't disagree purely because when he goes down, I don't think his hands go up and go, oh, I want a penalty, etc. He's going that way, he's going too fast and he falls off it. For me, he's off balance. I think it's not good balance and he falls over.
The reason that I think he doesn't throw his hands up is the fact that he knows that he's thrown himself down to the ground, and he's thinking to himself, if I don't make a scene of this, I might go unnoticed and the referee might not book me. That is a dive.
See, I think he slipped, but you think he dived?
I'm on the slip, definitely. 100%.
No chance. He's thrown himself at the ground there, and it's not a penalty.
It just shows you how that's tough for the referees. I mean, by the way, he got it wrong. It wasn't a penalty.
No.
But, you know, you might book him if you think it's a dive.
Well, it's a dive, it's a yellow card, and the big thing that you heard Robbie Nielsen there talking about was obviously the penalty. That kills the game. You know, that everyone talks about the red card and it changed the game. It did. But Hearts are still it's only 1-0. They're down to 10 men, they're resolute, they've set themselves up, they're hard to break down. As long as it's 1-0, you know, it's only 7 minutes into the second half, that kills the game. If Hearts can keep 1-0 10, 15 minutes further in, all of a sudden the game's it's a different context completely.
Well, let's keep the controversy rolling, shall we? This is the disallowed goal now coming up. Does Neil Alexander trap the ball with his hand between the hand and the ground?
Yeah, I mean, that's a goal. I don't think this angle here, you'll see it that when it comes in, Neil Alexander falls on top of the ball and then his body almost runs past the ball there. He's out of control of that now. Chris Commons knocks it in the net. I mean, that's a goal. And you know that saves Hearts blushes a little bit. That's another poor decision from the referee.
I'm afraid I have to be a wee bit controversial here. I agree with Michael.
It had to happen eventually. OK, let's talk about Virgil van Dijk, because he was one of the star performers this afternoon, Pat, in a number of ways.
Yeah, I mean, apart from anything else, I mean, from corner kicks, Celtic, we're very, very dangerous. This time he finds himself in a massive space and he's lost his marker. That's the important thing. Eckersley's gone, and that was his marker. But it's a great finish, and I think he's a top player. But this is a much more of a look at the defence. Look, there's the zone along the 6-yard line beneath it. Van Dijk, he's marked by Eckersley for a moment. Now he loses him and walks straight between that zone there. Now the zonal players have got to attack that. He misses the chance. OK, you've had your warning. So there you go. Your zone's up again. This time don't let him run through. The marker's there again. Don't lose him. But those two, if he comes in, you've got to attack the ball. And of course nothing happens. They can't attack the ball because they're static and he's got a running on. But also Eckersley leaves his man. There's a lot of mistakes in there from Hearts' point of view. Now a lot of people like, and I'm not against that zonal defending, but there's no point in just standing there in the zones. You need to go and react to it, and that's where Hearts got it really wrong today.
Is that simply something Hearts need to improve, Michael?
I'm not a huge fan of zonal marking per se, but what that is that it's a bit of a mix. They've got the guys there that are marking the runners, and then they've got the guys lined up in a zonal position. Where it really starts to break down is the fact that Eckersley, you're not expecting him to go and beat Van Dijk in the air, but what you want him to do is block him. Don't let him get a free run. And on every occasion, as Pat showed you there, he's lost him, he's ball watching, and Van Dijk's got a free run. And if Van Dijk's going to get a free run, he's going to outjump most folk. He's a great physique. And then, obviously, it gives the guys that are in the zone a real difficult proposition when somebody like Van Dijk's got a run on them.
Given the nature of the defeat, Michael, just briefly, you expect Hearts to bounce back from this fairly comfortably? Yeah,
I do. I think that they're quite a resolute bunch, and I think that Robbie's the sort of guy that you heard them there as well talking about. We're not going to let that get them down. I think they'll get over that without too much of a problem.